Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Lifestyle Architecture Lab. In this show, I talk about lifestyle design, financial freedom, and also dissect the process, behavior, and routines of the personalities who have designed a lifestyle of freedom for themselves. These guests range from artists, musicians, entrepreneurs, lifestyle coaches, investors, professional athletes, etc. These conversations dig deep into their stories to find out their thought process, tools, strategies, and tricks that makes them tick.
This is happening.
Let me just do what I love to.
No 9 to 5.
Eat that frog. You gotta work hard.
Risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. This is Lifestyle Architecture Lab, and I'm your host Himanshu Sachdeva.
In this episode, I'm talking to Trishita Bhattacharya, popularly known as the overrated outcast on Instagram. She's a traveler, photographer, and social media influencer with following of more than a lakh on Instagram. In this episode, we talk about her story, her initial struggles, and how she followed her passion for photography and travel despite being from a science and pharmacy background. We also talk about her journey to become an Instagram influencer, her creative process and tools, cameras, lenses, and apps she uses to produce her work, how to attract brand partnerships, and how to generate a sustainable income as an influencer. This is all in this episode. This episode also consists of some real insights and advice for many youngsters who want to take this path but in the right way. There are a couple of interesting travel stories as well in this episode. So, without further ado, please enjoy this conversation with Trishita Bhattacharya. Hey Trishita, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It's really surreal how it works. I didn't know you directly, but I've been following your work on Instagram from a long time, and we have interacted here and there briefly. Since I started the interview series podcast, I instantly put you in my list of people I wanted to interview because I wanted to sit down with you and talk to you about your story someday. And here we are today. It's my pleasure to have you here on the show, and I have a lot of questions for you today. So, can you please start off first from where it all started?
So, I was always a studious student. Studious student, yeah. So, and plus my mom is a teacher. So, studies were very, like a huge format in my life. कि पढ़ाई करो, अच्छा job लो, पैसा कमाओ. So, I was into academics. I was the ranker in my class. Like till 10th, I was quite good with studies, and then I took up science after my 10th. I got 90%. So you are expected, kind of expected, plus peer pressure. Because of peer pressure, you think, हाँ, if you have 90%, then yeah, you have to be a science student.
Right.
So I put that
In Indian society specifically.
Yeah, so nobody put that pressure on me. But I was the one who put a lot of pressure ki no, I have to do science.
Wow.
And that's the right way to go. And I always wanted to earn money. So I thought ki haan, science se zyada paisa aayega. Which was a very naive thought. Now that I think of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after 10th I took up science. Then after 12th I took up pharmacy because I always wanted to do pharmacy.
Wow,
since the
pharmacy.
since the 9th standard I wanted to do pharmacy. So I got into a government college for pharmacy, and then I studied. My photography journey started when I was in my second year of pharmacy. And that's when like my dad bought a digital camera for my sister who was doing journalism that time. but she didn't take a lot of interest because she was into phone photography. So I took it up and I started taking pictures of my classmates. I started taking pictures of the surroundings. Plus,
Wow.
after 12th, from my savings, I got a Micromax smartphone, which
Wow.
was my first smartphone with my own savings. So that was a very, very huge thing for me to buy my own phone from my own savings.
All right. And post that, like how did you get introduced to the Instagram world?
So after buying my smartphone, I kind of took up photography. I had that Micromax phone was 8 megapixels, so it was quite
In
huge.
that era,
Yeah,
8 megapixel
yeah,
was a good thing.
In like imagine 4-5 years back an
Yeah.
8 megapixel phone.
Wow.
So I took a lot of pictures. My campus was so beautiful. I took pictures. I did macro photography, which I absolutely hate now. But yeah, so I did that. And then eventually I started posting on Instagram. But Instagram was very new. My classmates were not on Instagram. No one in my college was on Instagram except
Wow.
me, I think. Yeah.
So you are the initial users of
you can
Instagram.
say that. You can say that. But I started posting a lot, and then I got appreciated for that from the followers. 100 followers I had.
Yeah.
100 se 500 ho gaya. 500 to 1000. 1000 to 2000, and then
Wow. Then the boom came.
yeah.
So, as you started off your journey, so how did your family support you through this?
My mom was a little bit tense, a little nervous for me because she thought she wasn't too sure about the creative field. I am a very spontaneous kid.
Right.
So my choices change quite a lot. So she was like, will you be able to sustain yourself? But my dad was very chill. My dad has always been very chilled out. And I think he's the major supporter.
Wow.
So he doesn't like intrude in between. He
Right.
is very, like, he's very encouraging. Even my mom, when she understood that, yeah, she has some talent or she has some potential,
Yeah.
she let me follow my dreams.
And what about your sister? She's also like a photographer,
Yeah.
right? And now
Yeah, so we are a team.
you are a team.
Yeah, we don't have a company of sorts, but she helps me, I help her with
Yeah,
brands,
all
with
right.
photography. So we are a good team. We fight a lot, but then it's fine.
Yeah, that's common between
We have a good
sisters.
creative partnership.
Yeah, that's right. And as your Instagram handle is named like famously overrated outcast, so what is the story behind that?
There's no fancy story behind that. So I came across this newspaper article where these two words caught my eye: overrated, outcast. And that was the time when I had decided to change my username. My previous username was very, very wannabe. It was Sneak Girl with
Sneak Girl?
Sneak Girl with GURL. Obviously.
Oh my God.
Imagine teenage kids.
Wow, right.
They do all sorts of stuff. But yeah. So I wanted to change that, and then I came across this article where I think I saw both the words and I'm like, yeah, it's a good combination. I could use that.
Right. So overrated outcast.
Outcast
It
was
born. So now, as you have become a Instagram star in a sense.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's true because you have a lot of followers, more than a lakh, I think, right now.
Yeah, 112K.
112K to be precise.
Yeah.
So, as you went through this journey, so was it all planned for you? I
Not-
mean, yeah, of course, you
Yeah.
cannot plan having such a huge number of followers, but was it planned to get into this creative field or then eventually getting into Instagram or something? So, was it planned? Overall?
Never. So I started with pharmacy. I never had this plan of taking up photography, even though my dad and my sister were very inclined towards it. But yeah, so I was always serious about studies. But then during my graduation, I was into extracurricular activities. Oh my God,
All
my
the time.
teachers, my parents were fed up of me. कि पढ़ती नहीं है, सिर्फ घूमती रहती है या कुछ करती रहती है. So yeah, that was where it all started. But I never thought I'll do photography per se. But after my third year, when I started getting a little some travel projects, that was the time I was like, I don't think I'll be continuing with pharmacy. But I
Right.
wasn't sure. I was very scared. Very scared initially. Ki, should I change or not? Pharmacy
Yeah.
will give me a stable job. What if, like, there's a lot of competition in photography in this field.
Yeah, of course.
So you have to be the best to
Yeah.
survive. And nobody had done this before. So I was initially scared.
But I mean, when you got into Instagram, after that, as you are posting consistently, I think more than 1400 posts or so, right?
Yeah.
So,
Somewhere around that. I haven't counted.
so that kind of reflects consistency, right? So that consistency you brought into your habit through some kind of planning. There must be some planning, right?
No, so I didn't initially take this very seriously. I was like, I have pictures, I'll be consistent, but when I don't, I am not consistent. It's not a business.
Right.
It was more of passion. Ki I want to share beautiful pictures with my followers. Like, I want to make them smile today.
Right.
And when Instagram stories came, like when Instagram stories were introduced, I was the happiest because I could show people how
Your actual
I am,
life
my
and the
actual
process.
life. Yeah. So I like showing the real side of things.
Right.
If I don't feel like posting, I don't post. And I don't make a big issue about it. Ki I
Right.
haven't posted.
Right.
I'm very sad today.
Some
or
people
something.
do.
Yeah, some people do.
Yeah. So, what kind of pictures you were taking in initial days when you just started out with Instagram?
As I had an 8 megapixel phone and I studied in SNDT University. So it was all green during rainy season and like when I had recess, college ke beech mein break hota tha ya something, I would take out my camera, shoot stuff like flowers, plants, sky and so my college is in Juhu. It's very close to the airport.
Right.
So planes used to pass by all the time. Every 5-10 minutes, a plane passes.
Yeah.
And you can see it very clearly.
It must be a air traffic route,
Yeah.
probably.
So I used to shoot planes. I used to shoot trees, flowers, and yeah. And then gradually I started taking pictures of my friends because I thought people are better subjects than inanimate objects.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Characters should be there. Like people
Human
make the
elements are
most.
important.
Human element. Right. I remember one picture. I think you had taken of Hawa Mahal with some kind of human element
So
caption.
People thought it was me in the picture.
Yeah.
But that girl was a stranger. So she was shooting Hawa Mahal. I was shooting her from behind.
Wow.
And she didn't even realize.
Without telling her.
That is very bad of me. But then, so I didn't want to disturb her.
Yeah.
So I shot quietly and then I went.
Yeah, I think first interaction between us happened with that shot. I think
shot,
I also have similar shot.
Oh,
okay. I showed you and you said, it's a clean frame, but I didn't have any human element there. Yeah. All right. And how many followers did you have at that time when you just started out? Yeah.
So all of us start from zero. In 2 years, like from 2013 to 2015, I had gained about 3,000 to 3,500 followers.
Oh, wow.
And then I got suggested by Instagram.
Oh.
So a suggestion, I'll explain how a suggestion by Instagram works. So Instagram follows you for 2 weeks when you get suggested. And then there's an influx of followers coming in. Like most of it is spam.
All right.
Spam accounts who have joined Instagram. So Instagram suggests them to follow my account.
All
so
right.
they follow me and then they go they
They're
delete
not
their
really,
account. They are
really
not really
interested.
active.
Yeah.
So you get those type of followers. Plus you get some genuine ones.
Right.
But then your organic reach takes a hit when you get
when they start unfollowing you.
When you are suggested and they start unfollowing you as well. So you have to be very consistent that time. And I know a lot of people who were not consistent and then they gradually lost a lot of followers. So after that, coming back to point, from 3,500, I gained around 32,000 followers.
32,000
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
In 2
that
weeks.
is massive.
Yeah. Instagram is my godfather.
So they bumped you up immediately.
Yeah.
But you must have done something right.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. So how did you get your first collaboration? What was that experience like?
I think I got I'm confused between Bewakoof.com and Daniel Wellington. So I don't remember which one was my first collaboration. But I remember Daniel Wellington, they collaborate with only people who have more than 10,000 followers.
All right.
So I don't remember कि वो हुआ था first या bewakoof.com. So Bewakoof and I had collaborated. They sent me t-shirts and I didn't post for it because I was very camera shy that time. So I made my friends post for it. That I remember.
All right. And what was the process like? Did they directly mail you?
Yeah, so they mail you. Well, they have a format, I think, for influencers, social media influencers. So they tell you that they are sending you this, and it was a barter collaboration. Nobody paid me that time.
All right.
Yeah, so it was just starting. Influencer marketing was just starting out in India.
Yeah.
So they didn't pay, but they did barter collaborations, and then they would give you products, and you would give them pictures in return, photos, social media posts in return.
Oh wow! So it was non-monetary, but it was some exchange of value.
Yeah.
Right. So going back to your studies, so how did you manage your studies and this thriving career, which became thriving eventually? So how did you manage both of these alongside?
Yeah, so I reached to that point when I would give more focus to photography more than my studies. But I was a very quick learner from the start. And I had a group of friends who were very good. So we studied together. And वो होता है ना 2 घंटे पहले पढ़ना. That is how I passed pharmacy. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
That is how. Maybe because I'm a quick learner. Yeah. I had that understanding. I would attend lectures. Only those lectures which I liked.
That is how you did your studies.
Yeah. But then I would give more focus to photography. I needed.
Yeah. So at that time you were like
traveling
so much.
Traveling
also.
That started in my third year. So third year was my worst year in college. I scored very less. Maybe 61%, maybe around 61%.
That's
that was
less.
The lowest. That was the lowest.
Okay, for you.
In 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you were like doing that study, and then along with that
I remember I used to bunk my lectures to attend events. I used to get invited for events. So hota hai na,
at that time you were getting invites.
Yeah. Small events, brand events.
All right. So that is how you were going back and forth.
And my college, like my classmates would wonder, what does she do? She brings different clothes. She comes in normal clothes to college, and then she'll be like, dress up okay, she's going for events. So they would wonder ki kya chal raha hai.
And moving to the like collaboration parts, so how did you get your first travel opportunity through Instagram? Was there something you were doing to attract travel opportunities, or it was it is just sheer luck? Or
so I never really approached anyone. Whatever fell into my lap, I would take that opportunity. I would do my best. Like if I got
bring
an
value to that
bring
brand.
value to that brand. Yeah. So I don't take all opportunities. I would take the ones that I was genuinely interested in and believed in. So
that is the most important point.
When you believe in it, then you give your 100% to it.
Yeah, because
half-heartedly काम नहीं होता है. So then I remember my first travel collaboration was with Spiti Holiday Adventure.
Spiti Holiday.
Yes. So it was a travel company, and a friend of mine, an Instagram friend of mine called Abhinav. Abhinav.
Yeah.
He asked me to be a co-host to a trip that he was taking, and I didn't take him seriously because I was not very physically strong or even mentally strong to do a trek, and I absolutely hate trekking.
Yeah.
But I think he was very serious. So he told me to lose weight in 2 months, at least some weight in 2 months, so that I could be physically strong.
Right. For Spiti Valley trek.
Yeah. So
it's a very difficult trek. I think.
It is a Bhaba Pass. Bhaba Pass trek is a very difficult trek in Spiti Valley. And it was a half-sponsored trip. So they sponsored my travel in Spiti and Spiti to Spiti. Manali to Shimla and all that places.
All right.
But they didn't sponsor my ticket from Mumbai to Spiti.
All right.
That was on my own.
Okay.
And then after that, I got the biggest collaboration of my life with Indonesia Tourism. That was my biggest.
That was the biggest event.
But Spiti changed my life. That's why it is very close to my heart.
Yeah, we were discussing the other day, and you told me the decision which you took, like to go full on into Instagram, came out of Spiti, right?
Yeah.
It was
that's why it's
one place where you were sitting and.
Spiti happened when I had graduated. I got my results. I passed with an A grade. It was very surprising for my mom because she never thought I'll pass also. I, I was fully into photography in my fourth year. And I was traveling constantly. Not constantly, like I was traveling than any other kid in my college. But I passed and then I got
With
this opportunity.
good grades.
With good grades. So my mom was happy, my family was happy. And then I went to Spiti. It was my first solo trip. And my parents was a little anxious, but they let me go, like thinking that it is a very good opportunity. And my mom was like, you have to come back and take up a pharmacy job. You can't just travel your whole life. You have to settle down and take up a job.
Right.
So I went to Spiti. I did this trek. It was the most difficult thing I've attempted in my life. It was 16,000 feet up.
16,000 feet.
It was a 5-day trek, and
Wow. In snow.
And I remember, like, before crossing the Bhaba Pass, there's a 85-degree inclination.
85-degree inclination.
85-degree inclination, where you have to climb in snow.
All right.
And then you walk in snow, and then there comes Bhaba Pass.
Okay.
So I remember it very clearly, like it happened yesterday. I almost broke down before doing that Bhaba Pass. And the guides, there are guides, right, for a trek. And I told them, I want to go home. And they were like, you can't go home. You have walked 2 days. And now the summit was on the 3rd day. So you can't go home now. You'll have to walk again for 2 days. And they're like, chal moti ut. And they wanted to taunt me.
Taunt you and then push you further. Yeah.
So I'm glad that they did that. And I crossed the summit. And after crossing the summit, everything became easy because when you go down, I feel it's very easier for me when after a trek, downhill hota.
Downhill is
easier than uphill.
Yeah.
Any day.
But it is dangerous.
For me. And it's very dangerous, but I love that part. I like that adrenaline rush.
That thrill.
Yeah, the thrill.
Yeah.
So after that point, when I was going downhill, we came across, on the same day of the summit, I came across this place where you could see snow on one side and a hill on the other, because that is where the greenery started, and we had crossed the snowy phase path. So that's where I sat.
Shift of seasons in some way.
In some way.
Yeah.
And then I sat there and sat on a rock, feeling very accomplished and feeling very proud of myself. I did it in a way. And that's when I thought, I don't think I want to do pharmacy. After going back, I was contemplating life at that point.
The normal 9 to 5 job.
9 to 5 job I didn't want to do. I wanted to do something in this creative field. It was very spontaneous of me because I'm not, I haven't learned it. I haven't studied it properly.
Yeah, the photography.
Yeah, the photography part, everything, the photography, the social media part of it, everything.
Managing of the things.
Yeah, I didn't know. It was the first time thing for me.
Yeah.
I was learning on the go. So
that's the best part, I think, learning on the go.
Yeah. So Spiti was life altering.
Wow.
In a way.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So you are a GoPro girl now, right? You are collaborating with them all the time. So how did you get that awesome opportunity to work with them?
So in 2016, May 2016, I got this mail from GoPro saying that they are coming to India, they are launching in India. So they are an American company,
right?
American adventure company.
Right.
They were coming to India for the first time, and they, I think, invited some influencers, Mumbai-based, Delhi-based, and all big influencers to come and experience it.
So they must have some kind of criteria, right? 10,000 followers or something.
I don't know
like that.
their criteria because there were a lot of people from
How many
different walks
followers
of life.
did you have that time? Around? Any ballpark number?
Somewhere around 40 maybe. 40, 50.
40K. Okay.
40,000, 50,000. I don't remember quite clearly. So and I thought it was a spam mail. So this mail, I thought was a spam mail. And then they had written keys, the stay will be in St. Regis. And
St. Regis is the 5-star
So I
hotel.
So I googled and I was like, 5-star hotel, wow, what is this? What is going on? And then I took a leap of faith. I replied to them, and then I got all the details. Ki what is going to happen? They were going to take us to Delhi Adventures.
Wow. So it was not
Yeah,
a faker.
It was not fake at all. So that was the GoPro story.
Wow. All right.
And then we are going strong. GoPro and I are going strong.
That's awesome. So, what all major places you have traveled to in India and outside?
In India, like we went on a lot of family vacations.
Yeah.
So my parents made sure that we covered some part, not all the parts, but some parts of India.
Yeah.
Like they went to MP alone. I went to Indonesia that time, so I couldn't go to MP. MP was my plan. I wanted to go there.
You planned it, but
I couldn't go in the
because
last
of
minute,
Indonesia.
yeah. So Rajasthan, we did a road trip in Rajasthan after my 12th standard. Then
Road tripping
Calcutta.
with the family.
Yeah, that was the first and last road trip. Abhi hona baki hai.
All right.
Rajasthan, Calcutta, Delhi, Kerala, South. I've covered most of South.
Most of South.
Yeah, with my family. I've never been to Northeast. I want
Northeast?
to go to Northeast.
Wow, Sikkim and
Yeah.
Arunachal Pradesh.
Yeah.
Or
All the seven sisters.
what is
National
Seven
Degree.
Sisters?
Northeast.
Okay,
You call
so-
all the states
Okay.
the seven sisters of the Northeast.
The seven
Sisters.
eastern states are
Northeastern.
called. Fun
Yeah.
fact to learn. All right. And what about outside? How many countries you have traveled to?
I've been to 2 countries. 2 times to Indonesia with the tourism board, and 1 time last year, 2018, to Peru. Peru was amazing. Wow,
That is South America,
South
right?
America, I could have never imagined myself going to South America. It's like the
Dream
other
come
side
true.
of the globe. Other
Yeah.
side of the globe.
Of course.
Yeah.
So many more places to go
Hopefully.
to and cover the world, right?
Hopefully. That's the plan.
That's a great plan. So if you want to advise one thing to all the creators out there, what would it be?
To be consistent,
Mm-hmm.
but also the most important part of being a creator is to create good content, make good photographs, make good videos, any type of content.
Anything which you
Anything
create.
that you create should be of top-notch quality. And unless it's good quality and unless it's maybe path-breaking,
Unique in some way.
that is how you get noticed, that is how you get good opportunities, that is how someone believes that you are a good creator. If you have, it's okay to be mediocre, it is going to get you somewhere, but then you have to be good at what you do and do it very consistently and very you have to put in the hard work. That
Right.
is what I want to say.
Right.
Even if a mediocre person wants to make it big,
Level up.
level up, he has to put in the hard work, extra
Right,
hard work. Some
right,
people are
right,
lucky, some
right,
people are not. So
right.
they have to put in the hard work.
Right.
Plus, I think being a creator, you have to know some etiquettes, basic etiquettes of writing emails,
Right.
proper emails
Right.
to the brands. If you're approaching someone, be very professional from the start so that they take you seriously.
Right.
And if a brand approaches you, do the double, be very professional
Right.
from the start so that they don't take you for granted.
So writing emails is very important, people, and being consistent with quality, I think
Yeah,
it is very
quality over
important.
quantity any day.
That's a good advice. All right. So do you plan your trips in advance, like wherever you go, or is it like very spontaneous all the time?
I am the worst planner ever. I cannot plan a trip. So luckily, my sister is very responsible and I travel with her most of the times. So she plans everything and I just go and click pictures. So I went on a trip recently with my friend to Pondicherry, my college friend. So she had planned everything. She had booked the tickets, she had booked the hostels, and I did nothing. I just paid her my half,
Your part.
my part, and then I went. And I told her, let's not plan anything. We'll go and plan it there and then. And that was the best vacation I took in recent times.
All right.
Also, I have a very bad habit of not planning anything and not looking up about the place on Google.
Before you go.
Before I go to any place. Like, for example, if I'm going to Rajasthan, if I've never been to Jaipur, I won't see pictures of Jaipur. So, because as a photographer, I think if I see pictures, it affects my psychology or something, and then
It reflects then
it
probably.
reflects on the pictures that I take. कि हाँ ये picture देख लिया तो मेरा picture भी वैसे ही हो जाएगा. I don't want to do that. I want to show a different perspective of
Your
the
own
place.
angle of
My own angle of the place.
that place.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So, what are your thoughts on Instagram stories versus the main posts?
Instagram stories is my favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right now on social media, Instagram stories is what I live for.
Mm-hmm. So, what is the main difference you feel?
Difference between Instagram stories, it goes in 24 hours, so you can do anything that you want. You can be as creative as jhalli there, but obviously when you are a photographer, you maintain your feed.
Right.
You have to maintain that certain level.
Right.
And you have that pressure, added pressure, that you have to maintain it.
Right.
But on Instagram stories, you can be as real as you can be.
Basically, you can put your own life there and your
that
process.
is what I believe in. Like, I believe that Instagram stories was made to show how your life is, daily life is.
Right.
So I stick to it. Like, I am as real as possible on Instagram stories.
And as consistent as well.
Yeah, I love Instagram stories.
So lately I've been seeing like your feed, more than your feed, Instagram stories are coming in.
I won't post. Maybe I'll take 2 days off and not post on my feed. But I never skip Instagram stories. I hardly skip Instagram stories.
Wow, awesome. Listen, people out there who are like trying to get into Instagram and starting to get some followers, create stories, man.
Yeah, create stories. Create real stories.
Real stories. Put yourself out there.
Yeah, social media is, you will find a lot of fake people there, but be as real as you can to stand out from the crowd.
Wow, that is another good advice. All right. So moving on, what does your typical day look like when you are like doing the creative stuff?
So these days I am taking a little bit of break. So for the past few weeks, like 1 week, I've been home. I am not taking up any projects. I'm resting because of constant traveling in the last 3 months and sorting out stuff, writing blogs. So I wake up very late. On a normal day, I would go out and shoot.
It starts at what time?
If I'm shooting, then as early as possible, maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock. I am not an early riser, but when it comes to shoots, I make it a point that I go early and then shoot because the light is nice. Right. But I prefer sunsets over sunrises. Sunset over sunrise any day.
So you get up at 6:30 a.m. and post
That's
that.
not every day.
Not every day. Maybe on the shoot days.
Shoot days, yeah.
When
So
you're
I'll
working.
tell you a normal shoot day. So I shoot and then maybe I'll meet some friend ki हाँ निकली हूँ तो मिल के आते किसी को.
Meet over breakfast or something like that.
Yeah, meet over lunch or
meet
something.
Over lunch.
Or maybe if I have enough energy, I'll go to some other place and click pictures. But yeah. And then I come back home later in the evening, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I make it a point that I do at least 1 post per day.
One post per day.
If I'm very excited, if I'm having a very good day, then I do 2. Yeah.
All right. And what about your food? I mean, what kind of, do you plan your food throughout the day when you are going out?
No.
It's like spontaneous wherever you're sitting. So.
Everything in my life is spontaneous.
Oh, wow. All right. So, usually, how do you manage your time? Is there any app or notebook for time management?
No,
a calendar?
Not at all. Not at all. Everything is in my brain. So I usually, my plans change in 2 days. So my friends don't believe when I'm telling them ki I'll come and meet you today or I'll shoot tomorrow because they know that I cancel last minute or I don't know. I don't set up calendars.
Maybe because of priorities as well, right?
Yeah. So this particular day, like I think day before yesterday, I had to write a blog. It wasn't a timeline. There was no pressure. It was for my own blog. But I woke up and I was like, I am going to write this blog. I am going to finish this blog and I'll publish it on at 7 o'clock.
7 p.m.
Today evening. and I started writing at 12. I was done by 5:30, 6 o'clock. I just had to post some pictures in the blog. Obviously, it's a photo blog.
Yeah.
So I finished at dot 6:45, and I published it at 7 o'clock. So I make mental notes in my brain. I don't write it down.
You don't
I
put
don't
it down
believe
on the
in-
paper.
Yeah, I don't believe in those things.
All right. And what is your creative process while you create a piece of content? How do you get your inspiration and how do you focus in that period?
So, suppose it's a brand that is coming to me. I'll ask them what they want. What are they expecting from me? And I have always noticed that brands are like, we want your create. I have been very lucky that way, that brands want my creative outlook towards how I create
Right.
these
Your own outlook towards
the things.
Yeah.
And they're like, you have the creative freedom, and we are giving you the products or clothes or whatever, and we want to see your creativity.
Right.
So I've been very lucky that way, touch wood. And I don't know, maybe something between the brand and me, like it clicks.
It clicks.
Because I know a lot of influencers who struggle a lot with brands. Like they reject. I have been rejected as well. So brand approves your content first. Like there's this approval stage that nobody knows of, I think. But you send them these things and they approve it.
First they approach you, then you send them
Yes.
the things, then they approve.
And I've been rejected quite a lot. Like I have sent them pictures and they have not liked it. They've told me to reshoot. I've done a lot of reshoots in my life, but that is how I grew.
Right.
That is how I know now what brands want.
Exactly. Failures make you
Exactly.
more of a person you are today,
Yeah.
right?
I don't take it as failure. I take it as a learning lesson.
Learning lesson, yeah. That's right. And moving on to your personal side, I mean, do you follow any exercise or mindfulness regime on day-to-day basis too? Because there is a lot going on, right? So you have to keep fit and keep your mind fit as well.
So I, when I'm very low or depressed, I don't go on social media.
All right.
I keep myself away. I watch the things that I like, maybe something on YouTube, a dance video, or an inspirational video, or a TED talk, or anything.
Right.
But I don't go on social media because I don't want to depress myself further.
Right.
Social media sometimes can be very depressing
Yeah.
when you are not having the best time of your life. So it's good to take a break, go offline, meet some friends, do your favorite things. Like I love watching movies. I love watching TV shows. So I do that.
Going offline is sort of kind of a meditative practice for you?
Yeah, because my life is totally online. So sometimes you need to take that break.
Yeah, you need to take
go
the break.
offline. Yeah.
Okay. Can you name a person who has had a big impact on you as an artist? Maybe someone who has been a mentor to you? Why and how did this person impact your life?
I didn't have mentors. Like, I came into this field on my own. I did things on my own. But I learned a lot from my friends. I learned something or the other from the people that I met.
Right.
Like, I learned framing from my sister. She's a very good architecture photographer. She does everything with a phone, and she has been a very big inspiration for me because she takes
Your
the
sister
perfect,
she's at Billie Jean,
at
right?
Billie Jean 07, Trishita
Wow.
Bhattacharya. She is my go-to.
All
so
right.
she takes structures. My friend Suraj, who used to take Shadow Warrior, his Instagram
At
username
Shadow
is,
Warrior.
yeah. He did a lot of portraits. He used to take my portraits, so I learned something from him, how to use the camera a little. And then a lot of people. I can't really name anyone.
Wow.
Like something or the other I've taken
From here and there.
here and there.
Yeah.
And then not copied, getting inspired.
Getting inspiration, yeah.
Yeah.
Copying is a completely different thing.
Yeah, it's a negative word.
Yeah, right. Getting
Inspired
to know
from all the people, from my mom and dad,
Yeah.
my dad's frames, my dad's photography. He's also a good photographer, decent photographer.
All right. So you have taken a little bit from everywhere, and that is what.
Inculcated it to my own photography.
Wow, nice. if someone who is just starting up with Instagram and they want to head to the right direction to develop a brand, what would you suggest to them?
Like working with a brand?
No, I mean, if they themselves are starting out on Instagram,
Oh,
and like
okay.
you yourself become a brand right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So personal branding. So
Huh.
if they are starting up with Instagram, what do you suggest to the beginners?
I would suggest, like, don't start it with the mindset that you want followers, you want fame, you
Exactly.
want the money. Start it like as a passion. Like
Right.
I started it as a passion. I never knew this would grow so much. Like I was happy when I was at 1,000. I was very happy when I crossed 2,000.
Right.
I was even happy when I had 100 followers also. I always wanted to be famous.
Right.
Since childhood.
Okay.
I have this dream of becoming famous and rich, like every stupid kid has. But when I started Instagram, it was out of pure passion.
Pure passion,
So,
love for photography.
love for photography. I was growing.
Right.
I used to be very happy looking at my pictures. I would appreciate it before anyone would. For beginners, I think don't go behind the fame. Don't start it with that mindset.
Intention should be
Intention should be
your
always
passion.
Yeah, intention should be passion.
All right. And just to get into a little deeper, I mean, are there any specific tools you would like to suggest? Like if someone wants to get into portrait photography or maybe landscapes, like you do right now, right?
Yeah.
So, any specific lenses or any cameras you would like to suggest?
People think that a camera makes a picture good, like the gear is important. But I think the perspective is what matters. Even
Right.
if you give Steve McCurry a decent camera phone also,
Yeah.
like a phone camera, he will be amazing with that as well.
Right.
Even though he has the best cameras.
Yeah.
So you don't need a heavy duty camera. I personally feel I do better with phone and GoPro. I don't like I invested in a big camera now after doing photography for 4.5 years. I invested my own money in a camera, full frame camera, because I thought it will help me with commercial work.
Right.
But photography can be with anything. But yeah, so for landscape photography, you need a very good wide lens. Maybe a 24-70 camera,
24-70.
Sony, Nikon. ज़्यादा matter नहीं
Right.
करता
Lenses
सच्ची.
are what actually matters.
Yeah,
maybe.
the lens
Yeah.
is important. And for portraits, I would suggest 35, 50 and 85 mm.
Wow.
I use 50 mm personally. I love 50 mm.
The prime one?
Yeah, that is the only
Yeah.
lens I have. And that is the only lens I could afford with my money.
All right. I'm also planning to get that.
It's the best.
All right. So that is the gear which she uses and she recommends. People, you can check it out. I'll put that also in the show notes. Moving on, what was your aha moment on Instagram which made you feel content and accomplished at that time?
On 20th December 2018, I got featured by Instagram.
Wow.
That is my aha moment.
Precisely.
On Instagram. Because when you join a platform, you never think that you will get featured by them or get suggested by them.
So just to give the people some perspective, so if you by sheer luck or by your hard work, you get to feature on Instagram, it's a really, really big thing. I mean, you get a lot of followers as well along with that. So wow. So that was your aha moment.
Yeah, that was my aha
18
moment.
December 2018.
No, 20th December
20th December 2018. All right. Great. And what do you do to ensure you are not influenced by other photographers too much that you lose your own style? By the way, what is your style?
My style is human elements, first of all. And I do travel. So
All right.
travel and lifestyle.
So mixing both.
So I make it a point that the human element is also visible, but you don't take away the magic of the environment with
Right.
that. Like the person is not too close. The focus is not only on that person, but also around
On the surroundings.
on the environment as well. So yeah, environmental portraits, you can say.
Wow. And what do you do to ensure that you are not influenced by others?
So I don't follow a lot of photography pages. Like
Mm-hmm.
people seek inspiration all the time, na?
Yeah.
So I don't follow all these photography pages or go on in Pinterest and look up ideas because I have tried that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I've tried looking on Pinterest for ideas, photography ideas. Started recently. I think even if I look into those, I end up doing my own thing only. Like I don't follow that idea at all. I do something different only.
Mm-hmm. So mainly not going onto those social pages
Yeah,
which
yeah.
might be influencing you,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Do your own thing.
Do your own thing.
Yeah.
All right. And being an influencer, what are you doing to make your income stream stable? Because being an artist,
Yeah.
we all know like artists usually don't get that much of money.
Yes.
So how do you make your income stable so that you can keep on doing this like forever?
So starting with that, I'll tell you a fun story. My mom, when I told her that I don't want to do a pharmacy job, she said ki, but then you have to study
Mm-hmm.
something because she's a teacher. So she believes in academics and degrees, diplomas or whatever. So to make her happy, I took up a diploma at Mumbai University. So a totally different diploma. Like I did pharmacy, I completed my pharmacy, and then I took up a diploma in advertising
Wow.
because she said you have to study something.
Right.
You can't just dive into photography. Who will give you a job?
Right.
You don't have a degree.
Right.
And I wanted to tell her that you don't need a degree for this, but
Right.
obviously to make her happy that she is also letting me follow my dreams.
Right.
She's being so okay with it.
Okay with it.
I wanted to make her happy, so I gave exams in Mumbai University and landed up into PG diplomas. One was practical filmmaking and the other was advertising.
Practical filmmaking and advertising.
In Mumbai University, yeah. Two.
All right.
One was a full-time PG diploma, postgraduate diploma, and the other was a part-time Saturday Sunday thing.
Oh wow.
But then I was confused. I want to take a laptop and a camera. I want to earn money. How will I earn the money if I'm studying all week? So I planned on dropping the full-time diploma thing. And I took up that part-time Saturday Sunday wala course, which is advertising. And I started looking up for jobs. I didn't believe myself enough that I'll get a job with the pharmacy degree. So I tried looking up internships on Internshala. So I applied for an internship at Zomato, Viacom 18, and all the fancy places. So I also came across a Facebook status where they were looking for people, freshers, for a MTV thing, like Viacom only.
Okay.
So I applied for that. So then I was selected for that. I went for the interview. They liked my page and they are like, they checked my Instagram page as well. I had linked that. Yeah. So I was sitting in their office and they are like, but you're already established. So I'm like, I am established in the online field. I want to do something offline as well. Like I want that offline experience too.
Right.
They told me they'll call me and everything, but I think they got someone else. I was thoda heartbroken, but then I came across one more Instagram story where there was this job opportunity, not an internship opportunity, a job opportunity in Chimfare. And Chimfare. It's an apparel company based out in Mumbai.
And it was through an Instagram story.
Yeah. So very random. And that was when I had come from the MTV interview and I was following up with them and didn't get any response.
Right.
So I was like, कर लेते ये भी try. कि वो होता है ना थोड़ा failure types. That was my phase.
Right.
कि कोई ले रहा नहीं है.
The
what
down
is wrong?
moments.
The down moments with me. And that was the time when I wasn't getting a lot of brand partnerships as well through Instagram. So that was a very, very low phase. And I was contemplating did I do the right thing or not.
Yeah.
But I think I had that belief in myself that everything will be all right in the end. So Chimfare was this company who had collaborated with my sister once. And I had helped her with the pictures. So I knew about the brand. I knew they were a fun company. So I immediately, after I mailed my resume and everything, I immediately got a message from, I didn't know who, it turned out that it was my boss, but I didn't know he was my boss who had messaged me.
Going to be the boss.
Going to be the future boss. Sorry,
Future boss.
Future boss. So he messaged me that can you come for an interview the next day, and I was very happy that wow, I got a response. Must be something with my CV that he liked, or so I went. And I landed the job that day itself.
They liked your
He
creative
liked my
process.
and he liked that I was like a decent photographer.
Being humble.
So I landed that job, and then I did that for 1 year, a complete 1 year, 2 months, and I studied on Saturdays and Sundays. I did the PG diploma.
Wow, so you were doing chimpware full time,
advertising part time,
the diploma, I mean,
and social media,
and
all the
Instagram,
time, whole time, the whole time.
That is the thriving moment.
3 jobs in one.
Wow.
So and
you have to do the hard work, people.
Yeah, and you said income, na? So coming back to income, I had a stable salary.
Right,
so,
with chimpware.
Yeah, and what I used to do is I used to get these every month ka holidays hota na. I would save it,
right,
and then take a big holiday.
Wow.
So within 6 months, I had saved a lot of holidays because I never took a holiday. I did everything. I slogged a lot in that year. Like, it was so tiring. And advertising is also tiring because I come from a pharmacy field, from a different background altogether.
Yeah.
And my classmates were all from BMM,
right,
mass media.
The proper educational background
and
as well.
I was always confused कि मैं क्या करूँ. So that was a learning experience. My job was a learning experience. Stable income came from that. My holidays were sponsored with that stable income.
Wow.
And
so I think connecting the dots backward, maybe MTV internship not happening to you was a good thing.
Very good thing. Because internships are very time consuming, more than the job itself.
Exactly.
And they take you for granted, they pay you less.
It's a no-no looking back, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
And then brand partnerships also. But then you can't rely on brand partnerships all the time.
Because they are up and down, they are coming and coming, not coming sometimes.
You get paid this month. May month mein bahut paisa aa gaya. Then 3 months you won't get paid. Then you'll get your payments before New Year. So that happens. It's unstable thoda.
Alright, so what kind of, I mean, if you want to talk about it, is there any rate specific to the influencers which they pay you specifically?
Yeah.
The brands?
It depends on the kind of work they are giving. Photo posts are lesser, like cheaper, you can say.
Right.
Then video posts. Then fashion influencers get paid a lot. Yeah, and people like me, decent.
Decent enough, okay. Alright, moving on. What apps do you use along with Instagram in your workflow when you are doing your own content? So you are using Instagram. Apart from that, what kind of apps you are using?
Like editing stuff.
Editing and like sharing through the different social medias. So any kind of apps which you are using which helps you through your workflow? Yeah,
so I use Snapseed and Lightroom. I use Lightroom the most for editing. I prefer Lightroom mobile over Lightroom desktop.
Alright.
Because I think maybe because I'm a phone photographer and connecting a GoPro is also very easy with your phone. Yeah. I end up editing everything on the phone itself. I don't do the desktop wala thing. Only for commercial stuff like commercial photography wherein there are big projects or something.
Then you have to
I have to use the desktop version.
Yeah. Alright, so Lightroom is one, then
Lightroom is my favorite.
Snapseed is the another one.
Yeah.
So a couple of good apps. And do you want to break into YouTube as well apart from Instagram? Because these are two different mediums. One is for photo and one is for video. But what are your thoughts on YouTube and video?
YouTube is touted to be the next big thing. It's already the next big thing. And I am on YouTube, but I'm not too committed on making videos yet. I want to learn a lot now in terms of video and then maybe foray into YouTube. But there are a lot of good YouTubers out there, and my main focus has always been Instagram.
Alright, maybe in future you might be.
Maybe in the future, when I'm very committed towards it.
And you have a blog as well, right?
Yeah.
When was that culminated and how did it come to life?
I started my blog way back in 2017.
Alright.
But I never published the first post. The first post was also ready.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so unsure about it that I didn't publish it until 2018 August.
Oh my God.
Like I didn't
Almost
have
1 year.
I changed the whole
Narrative.
narrative of the blog, and then I published, and then I had that confidence ki no, I think I should start it. I started it when I was very sure, and I also invested in it. I took a domain and everything.
Yeah.
I wanted my own name. I didn't want overratedoutcast.wordpress.com. मतलब मेरे लिए था कि मेरा .com होना चाहिए, मेरे नाम का .com.
Overratedoutcast.com.
So
So you have it right now.
yeah, and because I had invested my own money on it, I took it more seriously, I think.
Right.
And I had enough money by that time कि मैं invest कर पाऊँ.
Right.
तब तक overratedoutcast.wordpress.com ही था.
Yeah. So you can start off with the things which you have probably and move on the ladder as you go.
Yeah.
Right? And do you think blogging is dead? Like right now, visual blogging is more hip right now, right? Like
Yeah.
Instagram. What about the written words? What do you think about that?
I think written blogs, from my perspective, are good. Like it's not...
Are still good.
Yeah, they are still good because when you need the information, like when I would need the information, I would read blogs rather than watch videos, 20-minute videos.
Right.
Because I'm fast that way. So
Yeah.
I would read about the place and so writing is also a very big thing. Like making videos, writing is so difficult. Everything is difficult. Taking pictures is also difficult.
Right.
Standing there for the right moment. That is, everything is difficult. So when you get the time, I think people don't have time, that much time these days. They're in a hurry all the time. It's a fast life.
Right.
So visual blogging obviously is better than a well-detailed blog. But yeah, when people have the time, they have the luxury to read, they will definitely read your blog.
Yeah. So it's still alive.
It's still alive, according to me.
Right.
Because I believe in it.
Same here. What advice would you give to your own 15-year-old self?
Be spontaneous like you are. And never let the external energies bog you down. Because I did that, like it happened to me a lot. You can't call it body shaming, but body taunting. थोड़ा सा मेरे साथ होता था स्कूल में. In school, I wasn't that fat, but then my counterparts, my classmates were thinner than me.
Right.
So I would be touted as fat. So my friends थोड़े मजाक में बोल देते थे कि मोटी है. तो उसके वजह से my confidence
used to go down
a lot. And that confidence I found when I was I was 21. Mother 15 to 21, 6 years.
Right.
I wasn't confident about my body, about my face, how I looked. That's why in the initial years of photography, I never posed for anything.
All right.
And I think I faced the camera very seriously for the first time when I did this Wildcraft collaboration where they needed me in front of the camera. Because you are wearing the products, you are talking about the products. So they need you in the picture.
In the frame. Yeah.
And then that is where I found my confidence also.
Wow.
Somewhat.
All right.
So yeah, for my 15-year-old self, be spontaneous and don't let the external energies bog you down.
All right. And what under 5,000 rupees purchase you have made recently which changed your life in better way?
Under 5,000. All the editing apps that I have purchased from Google Play, they help me a lot.
Any specific app?
Wait. InShot is one.
InShot.
I make better videos because of InShot. I am doing better because of InShot.
Which phone you are using right now?
I am using the Google Pixel 3 XL.
Pixel 3 XL.
Yeah.
All right.
That was gifted to me by Google. I love you,
wow.
Google. Thank you.
And are you a book person?
Yeah. I used to read a lot of books when I was in college. Currently, I'm not reading a lot because social media is it's very consuming.
Time consuming.
Very time consuming. Yeah. So have not been able to read a lot. The last book I read was my favorite travel blogger's autobiography in some way.
What was that named? Do you remember?
The Shooting Star by Shivya Nath.
The Shooting Star.
Yeah, by Shivya Nath. That is the last book I read.
Oh wow.
And loved.
All right. And what does failure mean to you? What is your biggest or rather favorite failure till now?
Failure, I don't consider failure to be bad. Failure, as I said, is a learning phase.
Mm-hmm.
You learn a lot when you fail.
Mm-hmm.
So those 2 months that I spoke to you about, the graduation wala,
Right.
graduation ke baad and job milne se pehle, those 2 months where I had no work, that was a low phase for me, not a
Right.
failure,
Not a
as
failure.
such. But then I guess those 2 months taught me a lot about patience. I am not a patient person, but because of those 2 months, I have become very patient
Very patient.
with everything in life. And now that I don't have a job, I do freelancing with the same company, but I've left it, like left the full-time thing,
All right.
and I'm totally into photography and social media.
All right.
So you need a lot of patience when you are a freelancer.
All right. And do you get criticism over your posts, social posts, and how do you handle that as an artist?
Uh,
Because artists are usually very fragile about their
yeah.
content and what they create.
I think I haven't gotten much criticism. Like negative criticism ज़्यादा नहीं मिला, हमेशा ज़्यादा positive ही होता है, which I've been very lucky with. But once a picture of mine got viral on Facebook and Twitter, and bad comments. I was young. I think I was 21 when that 2021 when that happened, and I didn't know that was happening to me for the first time. That a picture went viral, but for the wrong reasons. How to react, how to not react, should you react or not, like all those questions came to my mind. And it was a good picture, but it got hate comments like it is photoshopped, ye kya hai, memes banne lage uske upar.
All right.
And it was very bad, like all bad words and stuff. So initially I reacted on the first day, but then thankfully I realized that you shouldn't react to all this. You should be like, it's okay, जाने दे, social media एक दिन में होगा.
Yeah.
Everything, this will happen on the first day, and second day it will be fine. 2
Yeah.
days के बाद सब भूल जाएंगे. That was my criticism wala phase.
Handling the criticism.
Handling the criticism. That don't react to it. Never react to stuff on social media when it's bad.
Right. All right. And going back to one last question about traveling, why one should travel? Tell us your 3 bucket list spots where you want to go next.
To travel, it frees you. Like
Wow.
you sense the freedom you
It
get.
frees you.
Yeah, and like knowing about a place, knowing about the culture, it's so different from your own city. Like even if I travel to a very close destination, maybe Pune, which is very close to Mumbai,
Right.
I learn something new about the place, and that excites me a lot. Like learning about the place.
Right.
And yeah, you get a very different perspective when you start traveling. Like you see life in a very different way, in a very different light. And it's very, very, what can I say?
Liberating.
Liberating, yeah. I was not getting the word. Liberating. It is super liberating. And I love that part of me. And I'm always busy when I'm traveling. Because an idle mind is a devil's workshop, as they say.
Right.
And I'm never idle when I'm traveling. Like my mind is constantly working.
Constantly working.
Yeah, something or the else.
Trying to think about the shots.
I don't
maybe.
like staying idle. I want something to do.
All right. Any specific story from your travels coming to mind?
So once I am very fascinated with the monks in Himachal. So I always wanted to take pictures of young monks. So once this Spiti thing, the Spiti trek, I had 2 days to acclimatize. So I was told to walk around and explore so that you get used to the climate and then eventually go for the trek. So I went from one part of Spiti to the opposite part of Spiti to a monastery using Google Maps, talking to locals. And then I spotted a monk's house where so many young monks were there. And then there was this flight of stairs which were not like those normal stairs. And I got so excited that I didn't see there was a lot of distance between those steps. So I fell down like really bad. And I think I hurt myself. I started bleeding that time on my leg, left leg. I still have the scar. So I started bleeding, but I didn't care. I was so excited looking at them. I took
Nobody was there with you?
No. I was traveling alone. So that was a very weird but happy moment for me because I got to talk to them and then take pictures of them, see their life thoda sa bahar se, superficially. I
Right.
saw their life in a way, how they live where they live,
Nice.
and bucket list destinations.
Yeah. What are your 3 bucket list
Three bucket list
destinations where you want to go?
So I want to live in New York, live in New
Live
York,
in New
live
York.
in New York for 3 months.
All right.
For maybe a project or something. I want to experience that place, and I think I need 3 months to experience the place.
Right.
New York is one, always has been one. Second is Europe. Hopefully,
Where in Europe? Very
Europe
specific.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
I
Get a
want to-
Schengen visa and go
yeah,
there.
I want to go to Spain and Portugal, and I think I'll make that happen this year. Hopefully,
Wow.
I have saved for my Europe trip, and I
Wow.
want to do it this year. If not this year, then next year.
People, you should expect some European photographs soon.
Let's see. So
All right.
Europe is one, New York is one, and Kashmir.
Kashmir.
Kashmir jana mujhe.
You've never been
No,
there, right?
I've always been to Jammu. I've never been to Kashmir, which is very sad. And Kashmir is so beautiful. Like India mein itni sundar jagah. I want to go there.
Wow. That's the third one.
Yeah.
All right. So New York, Europe, and Kashmir.
Yeah.
All right. So it was great talking to you, Trishita. Where can people reach you? I mean, Instagram is, you are famous on
Yeah.
Instagram. It is @overrated_outcast. Any other place you would like people to go
You
to?
can reach me on Facebook. It's Trishita Bhattacharya. So wherever you type Trishita Bhattacharya, I think I'll be the first or second profile.
All right.
Hopefully.
All right.
And I am on Twitter. I have my own blog. I have my YouTube channel. I am everywhere. But
Everywhere on the
you
socials.
can reach me on Instagram, basically. Mostly,
All right.
yeah.
Mostly on Instagram.
@overrated_outcast.
I'll put all the links and
Thank you so
all
much.
the good stuff in this episode which we talked about in the show notes of this podcast. And thanks, Trishita, for making the time for this wonderful conversation. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Hey guys, this is Himanshu again. Now, before you move on, here's something I want to share with you. I have one weekly newsletter which is called Saturday Pentacle. You can think of it as a weekly one-page magazine for the curious minds where you'll find 5 awesome things which I've been pondering on in the last week. It may contain popular articles, blogs, photographs, Instagram posts, books, videos, products, or thoughts. It's completely free. If you want to get it, just go to himanshusachdeva.com. That's my name, himanshusachdeva.com, and drop in your email. You'll get the very next one. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for listening.